Hello. Alright, looks like we are good to go. Whoa. Oh my god, I'm so not ready. Hello, and welcome to Court of the Rings Online here on twitch.tv/LOTRO and youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live. I am LOTRO's community manager, Cordovan, celebrating my 6th anniversary with Turbine today. 6 years. Was my first 6 years ago today was my first day of work in the office, and I sure am happy to still be here 6 years later. Happy to be here with the LOTRO community as well. Thanks for supporting me to the extent that everyone has, and I don't know, it's just it's a very cool time. For years before I got hired here, I had wanted to get an in on the video game industry, and wasn't sure that that was something that was going to be possible for me. And so when this opportunity came about due to my podcasting work on Dungeons & Dragons Online largely, along with my experience as a reporter and radio guy and that sort of thing, it was just a huge opportunity and an honor that I have not forgotten, that I am extremely lucky to be able to do this. There are, I'm going to guess, thousands of people who would love to have this kind of job with this kind of company, with these kind of games, and that's not something I take lightly. You know, it is an honor to be able to do this for you folks, and hopefully I can continue to do this for a long time to come. So, I am on Landreval. If you were around last weekend, by the way, thank you very much for checking in on my Extra Life live stream. It was noon to midnight last Saturday. I got Dwinstrel on Landreval up to level 18. Figured out what my crafting issues were. I think I'm going to just kind of have to let it go for a little bit, though. And, because I don't want to be sitting here for an hour chopping down trees for everybody while you watch. It doesn't seem like particularly compelling content. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, kind of do that on my own. Go backtrack. So what happened is I took my crafting stuff too late. And so now I'm over level in the area I'm in to be able to get started on chopping down trees. So I'm going to have to go down to an older area and then kind of start over when I've got a little bit of time. Hey, Cleavebeard. Hey, Druid's Fire. Druid's Fire says, I wouldn't want your job. I know someone who used to be a community manager, and I've heard stories. As a matter of fact, I love this job. I worked for about a decade for a national news wire under the stressful conditions of working in radio news, where everything was a crisis 24/7. You were always on call. There was always something going on. You were always struggling to get the information you needed, and then it was a very, very stressful job. So what little stress there is being a community manager for an MMO like this ain't nothing compared to what I used to deal with. So I would say that the biggest things that have helped me over the years is, one, I've got really thick skin. Again, that's part of the reason why I saw the success I did, to the extent I did, as a reporter, is because it takes an awful lot to phase me. But you also need to be able to multitask really well and to sort of have a lot of things going on at once and not let it stress you out. And I don't want to brag, but I can do that, so. I've heard being a community manager is like being a crazy cat lady. You're not entirely wrong. It is a little bit like herding cats, that's for sure. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what's up with the not-so-great mustache, I am raising money for Movember. This is over on the Dungeons & Dragons side, so you guys don't need to worry too much about it. But in case you're wondering why in the world I would choose to shave and only have a mustache for the next couple of weeks, that's why. I'm raising money for Movember, which raises money for testicular cancer, prostate cancer, research and support, suicide prevention, things like that, PTSD, a bunch of kind of issues that are not specifically for men, but often are things that men deal with through the Movember campaign. So as a matter of fact, kind of what I did last weekend for LOTRO, I'm doing this weekend for DDO. So if you want to ask me a LOTRO question over on DDO stream, noon to midnight Saturday, I'll probably answer it. But we've done really well with Extra Life. And I just want to thank everyone again for all your support. It means a lot, both to the Boston Children's Hospital and the rest of the Children's Miracle Network. Everything was a crisis in radio? Would you say it was an infinite crisis? Yeah. It was, because, I mean, there was never a time, even when you were calm, like when there wasn't something going on, you always had to be worried because something probably was and you were missing it, right? So, I don't know how many times I'd be sitting down to dinner, going out to eat, and then all of a sudden I'd get a call saying, oh, there was a tornado in Illinois, or there was a horrible crime in Delaware, or whatever it is, and then bang, that was my job. I had to go cover it. So I ended up putting in long hours and stressful stuff, so. So yes, the mustache will be growing slowly through the month of November, and then I'm going to be shaving it all off and probably get my regular beard back, because it helps define my face and helps mask the fact I got double chins. Let's see. Also want to thank everyone over on the YouTube side. All right, let me kind of figure out what I'm doing. Like I say, we kind of when last we met, I was getting ready to maybe do crafting, but I think I'm not this time around. Excuse me. Let's see. And deal with that. Song for the company. And how about sharing the load? Alright. So what I'm probably going to do is focus a little bit on the book today and answer any questions that everyone might have. For those who don't know, yesterday we released 19.1. That includes some creepside changes, bunch of bug fixes, and you can find the release notes over on LOTRO.com. There's actually a link to it in the launcher as well. If you have any questions about that, I would be happy to answer it. We did add some new loots over in North Athelion. Let me actually call up the notes quick, see if there's anything I need to talk about. We did re-enable premium housing upkeep for non-VIP owners and leaders. VIPs no longer have to worry about that. We fixed a couple other housing things. And yeah, incomparable jewelry is now available at the Herbalist. It's a level 246 item with 3 sockets. And like I said, we did a bunch of PvMP and quest and adventure area works. We also fixed apparently a long-standing bug where bleeds from different wardens now stacked with each other. So that's good. Although I've heard from a few PvMP folks that they're like, no! But, you know, hey. I also have been hearing a little bit that some folks are concerned that the power level of the Flora jewelry is perhaps a little bit higher than they would have preferred. And that's some feedback we'll have to look into. Overall, I think we're okay with it. You know, I think there is still a good value to raid gear, including T2 Throne of the Dread Terror raid gear. And it's not like this is easy stuff to get. You gotta do a heck of a lot of grinding. But we have, you know, been listening to your feedback there, and we'll kind of see what ends up happening. Okay, so song for the company is back in Bree. Sharing the load is up there. Why don't I do sharing the load right now, since I'm closest to that. Wow. My dwarf can jump. I step on your hobbit house roof. Wow. Actually, I've got a horsey. I should probably do that. How am I doing? I am doing well. I have been busy, very, very busy, which is why I haven't had a lot of time to play LOTRO or any other games in the last, well, really since the live stream over the weekend. And this weekend's going to keep me busy too, so. Adventures of being an adult. But that's fine.
Good day.
Yay!
Could I take a moment of your time?
Alright, well, I can deal with that later. Let me head over into the woods again. Can I say if the bull roar test results could improve the performance and if they were included in 19.1? They are not in 19.1, and unfortunately, we don't know. We still believe that it's going to make a difference, but the participation on Bull Roar last weekend was not enough to actually give us meaningful results. So what we're hoping to do is reopen Bull Roar, perhaps this weekend or something, and try to motivate some more folks to get in there and actually do it. I'm directly reaching out to a couple of raid groups that I know and say, hey, can you please get onto Bull Roar with the full raid group and run Throne of the Dread Terror T2? And I will sit there and watch you do it. And that kind of thing. So we need, frankly, a little more participation, hopefully, to know for sure. So we don't really have anything further other than our own internal testing has showed a difference. But especially when it comes to this kind of issue, it's really better to get a more comprehensive, shall we say, set of test results. Lord of Flower, the new endgame pickup flower, really nice job, but why? Why the new jewelry are better than Raid T2 one? It's a tough question to answer, but I'm going to do my best. So the thing about it is that this new endgame item crafting is meant to be endgame item crafting. So you're not wrong that it is pretty darn powerful, and that's working as intended. Not every raid item is meant to be, or not every item is, how do I want to say this? There is not a deliberate design saying only raid items will be the best. That said, that is generally the way it works out. So, but that doesn't, particularly with an endgame system, we want it to be endgame power. Plus, of course, as you well know, not everybody raids. There's a large segment of the community who will never step foot in a raid and would like to have things to pursue item-wise as well. So that's part of what's going on here. But that said, the feedback we received, in the last 24 to 48 hours, that perhaps some people would like us to scale back the power is something we'll have to consider. But I don't know. It's supposed to be powerful stuff because it's good, because we want you to work for it, because it is a big grind. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Just because an older raid, which is still the newest raid, but an older piece of content has itemization that could conceivably be seen as not as great as the new thing, does not mean that we can never make something as powerful as the item level available in the current newest raid. But, like I said, that is something we also want to try to keep in mind, that there is a balance, and typically, as a end result, that stuff does tend to be the most powerful stuff. So I hope that's a good answer. I know it's kind of a non-answer because we're not saying, yes, we've heard you, and now we're going to make sure that raid items are always the best forever. You know? Rah! What is the reason for the new Athelian essence crafting not being included in 19.1? My understanding is it needs further testing and will be in 19.2. If the T2 raid items are not the best, lots of raiders will stop doing the raid. I do not believe that is true, but we shall see. I think there should be room in this game to have multiple kinds of pursuits when it comes to loot. And trying to exclude the good stuff to only raids does not perhaps meet our design goals. But like I say, in practice, we do tend to reward raid items as being among the most powerful. And I would argue that that still remains the case. Also, in many ways, this new loot is harder to get than the T2 raid items, as has been evidenced by some of the forum discussions where a lot of raiding guilds are basically completing it and then inviting their friends in to hit the chest. Someone named Hugo on YouTube says, I would like to buy the new map, but I'm life banned. Can you unban me? Deban me? No, I cannot. Our in-game team, though, might be able to take another look at your account. So what I would recommend you do is send in a ticket to in-game support. There is a ban appeal section there, and that's through support.turbine.com. If they, explain your situation in a non-confrontational, don't swear at them a bunch way, and they'll take a look at it. Hey now, what's all this fussing? We've not had so many guests since our wedding. There is time enough for bird watching, but perhaps first a song or two, my hearty? Let your heart fly free and put aside your worries. You are at the house of Tom Bombadil.
What
Nice.
can I do for you today?
Goldberry's off doing stuff. He's hunting lilies. Why now? Aragorn's name I know. Yeah, stop skipping around. So many visitors a-calling. Hey now, Dairy Doll. Water with the Withywindle. Soon I will be bringing.
Hello, friend. Can I help you with something?
Alright. Finding the lilies. Sounds like a thing to do. So people are saying, someone says in chat, raid as the most powerful stuff is just, that's an MMO thing. That's how it always works. I don't know if that's actually true. I mean, typically, like I said, raiding is among the most powerful items typically in any game. And I guess I would argue that that actually remains the case here. Maybe I'm just completely ignorant. Yeah, you are. But But I think that there is room to have multiple kinds of itemization. Both raid item itemization and other itemization as well. If you only make raid items be the stuff that people want, and a large section of your community never raids, then are you really serving your community very well? I think we want the answer to be, we want to provide compelling itemization and gameplay for everybody. Yeah, for everybody. At least as wide a group as we can. And that's not always a contest, and you're always going to have kind of winners and losers and best in slots and all that sort of thing. Hey, old Meridol. Time to head back to Tom Bombadil. What class do I play? I'm currently playing a minstrel. And prior to this, I played a hunter for a while. So those are sort of the two I've done most. Although I tell you, all that talk about runekeepers and power level in the new raid and everything are kind of made me wonder if I shouldn't be playing a runekeeper. But I am digging the minstrel here. It's pretty fun. So I think I'm going to stick with this for a while at least. There we go.
Hey do, merry do, my hearty. What can I do for you today?
Okay. Oh, into the Barrow Downs. Okay. So I am heading this way. Is it too early for a timeline on 19.2 Bull Roar and subsequent release? And yes, in terms of anything particularly concrete, I would say that we are targeting 19.2 for sometime in December or January. So I would say sometime between mid-December and mid-January, kind of depending on how things progress. And, you know, clearly that will become more solidified as we get closer to it. And so Bull Roar, I would imagine, certainly within a month here. Maybe about a month from now, maybe a little less. Something like that. Let's see. Alright, so someone says that don't touch the new gear. It's a great way for people who don't want, can't handle, won't get accepted into raids for X reasons to have decent gear. If it's way more powerful than T2C raid gear, maybe it make it equal, but not weaker or gated behind a mandatory T2C content. Multiple options for endgame is always a good idea. I tend to agree. I also, I have heard some people say that it is better, but I don't know that it's quite as insanely better as some folks are saying. I mean, we're talking about kind of a incremental benefit, aren't we? Maybe I'm wrong. Someone who knows more about it, let me know.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Bob.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment?
Hello, friend. Could you help me with something? Would you do something for me? Hello there.
Tater. Alright, good enough. Open up a little space there. It's an increase at all, and it should not be. I disagree. Kudithi says it's a minimal increase, nothing that you really have to worry about, but min-maxers want it anyways, so get it. All we are asking is for raid items to be a bit better than the other stuff. In general, I would agree with you. And I think that that is the case. Is it the case that there will never, ever be an item in this game that can compete with a raid item? No. That's not how we want to play the game. But in general, is raid itemization going to be some of the most powerful stuff you can get? Yes. I mean, do you really want a system of endgame itemization where we're like, well, because this one item is 2 better in a raid than or 2 less in a raid, then we can never create engaging endgame gear? It doesn't seem right. Seems like we should try to strive for a mix. And that is, I think, what we're doing here. While still preserving the value of raiding. But the idea that we can never create an item ever in the history of this game that competes with raid gear It doesn't... No. No. You know? I do not have the corresponding text. Well, that sucks. Hail and well met, Boskin Juros. Why are we working on a raid if it's now useless for some people? Because it isn't. Man, I'm gonna die if I'm not careful here. All right. It's hardly useless. There are plenty of other fat loots you can get in there that are incredibly powerful. I would tend to agree. Can we expect the return of the lottery sometime in the near future? Probably not. Probably not. The back-end system that powered the lottery just no longer exists. So, probably not. We would have to recreate a new system to do that. And I don't know that we really have any real interest in doing that. I thought there was a little piece on that blank map. ETA for gold raid item bracelets seen in beta this weekend. Probably... Well, I don't know. I guess I need to follow up more about that, but probably 19.2 if you saw it on beta this weekend. And it wasn't in 19.1. In general, I'd say that's probably the case. When is beta going to be opened again? Probably, well, we're working on that. Perhaps this weekend, because we really would like to get some better testing on our game performance improvements than we saw last weekend. But no exact promises. Oh, there you are. Kind of depends on when we can coordinate some things that are currently being coordinated as we speak.
Mercy me. Will you hear me out?
It's this way, I think. Alright, I'll take your word for it, Lalia. Where can it be? Where was the last place you put it? Try to remember. Come on, we're surrounded by barrow whites here. Wait, this seems familiar. Oh no! Barrow white archers! Arch away, barrow whites. See what I think about you. There we go. Hey, I'm not the one stepping in barrow whites. You are. Telling me to be more careful. You're the one who lost a cloak in the middle of an evil barrow white land. Boskin says, I know it's a bit too early to speak on Mordor, but here's a suggestion for raids. As a reward, we can get Supreme Armor instead of Teal Blue for successfully completing a T2 raid challenge. We haven't yet committed to doing a raid in Mordor, but we do plan to do some kind of group content. And we'll have more about that as we actually get kind of closer to it. So. Alright. But I would imagine if we do a raid in Mordor, it's going to have some pretty good loots in it. So, probably. Something like that. Alright. Remind me never to ask you for directions, Lalia. That's true, she does go on to set up a pretty successful clothing outlet in Bree, so, you know, that's cool. But you know, there's not a lot of evil whites happening in Bree either, that I'm aware of. With Mordor, will we disable the walk button since one cannot simply walk into Mordor? I don't know, but that's a great idea. No, you'll be able to walk. But yes, that is awesome. We should totally do that. At least have a setup at the beginning where you're just like, first time you try to walk in there, people are like, you can't walk in Mordor, what are you talking about? You must run. So will we up the T2 raid jewelry or no? No plans for it. But this is a brand new sort of concern from the community, so we'll take it under consideration. But we're not going to go in a setup where we automatically redo all of the loot and all of the raids because we come up with something new on it in the game. What, she just running away now? Okay. Alright, looks like I've got the stuff that what I need. So that's Piper Prescott. Oh yeah. I should do that before I'm done. All right. It's an old question. All right. Back to YouTube then. Will there be any more upgrades to the new/old raid gear like you did with all the armor? No immediate plans for that. Can we change the subscription payment? Someone wants another option besides PayPal. You know, we're always looking at good things to provide in terms of payment methods. Right now, we tend to provide what's available through our partner that runs the store. Alright, well I guess I'm just all going back, huh? I'll deal with this Corbane thing later. Ah. Yeah, I do like that we offer a discount for a year as well. That's useful. Back when I was paying for my sub. Wow, sliding down the hill.
What do you need? Stay a moment.
How do you do?
Ah. Alright, I will take that.
Hello there.
How can I be of service? What can I do for you?
Alright, so let me see. Fled to the south. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I should do that then. Alright, Bloodborne says, when you guys look at things like loot, how do you determine whether you will do a guaranteed drop, rare drop, picker box, and so on? Kind of depends on the system we're looking to implement. Kind of depends on the challenge of the raid, the expected time frame that we want people to get it, whether or not it's a main source of kind of something we expect you to do for a while, or, you know, grind a whole bunch. Power level of the item obviously makes a big difference in terms of drop rate. Whether or not we're looking to, say, make everybody a little bit incrementally higher, like what you tend to see when we do level cap increases, as opposed to exceptionally like, oh my god, I must get that, and then you're going to have to work for it a while. So I don't know that there's a clear-cut answer for that, but we do, when we're looking at a piece of content, we want to itemize that content. We do ask those questions and get those answers and then try to find the system that works best for it. Someone says, why is not the Ithel Essence scroll and not the new upgrade from the Ithel Essence? Pretty sure that's coming in 19.2. You know, one thing I would say about kind of the raid concerns is that it is an indication that the raid has been fairly successful, because X amount of time on, people are very much interested in still running it to get some of the best loots in the game. So there's that. Yeah, the beta we saw last weekend is kind of a mix of 19.1 and 19.2. We had done a branch. So there was a little bit of kind of a mix of things in there. But the intention was really to look at... That's awesome. God, I love that animation. That's so funny. Wipe out. That is my kind of animation there. When is 19.2 going to be on Bull Roar? We're still working on that. I would say soonish. Maybe within a couple weeks or so. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Someone's asking about if gifting is working correctly. I'm not quite sure what you're asking about there.
How can I be of service?
What are you expecting to work
Might I
that
take a
isn't
minute of
working?
your time? Would you do something for me? Might I take a moment of your time?
Would you do something for me? Could I speak with you a moment? Could I speak with you a moment? Might I take a moment of your time?
I don't know if you can help me.
Alright, so what do I got? Got some Bree. Missing Sons are down there. Some woods. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. But yeah, I mean, we are definitely within certain limitations to allow people to gift because, it'll make us some money, especially around the holidays here. I know the LOTRO market is available, and that should be something that you can do right now. I think for the store items, it depends on the item. Some stuff is not meant to be, as account bound, and some isn't. Kind of depends on the nature of the particular item you're looking to purchase. Man, I love that. Oh, there it is. All right. So if I want to buy 50 mithril coins or amount, I can gift it? Yeah, usually. Check the store, it'll tell you. My mini needs more cowbell. Yeah. Or maybe a tambourine.
I'm sorry. Did you need something? I'm
All
sure
right.
it will do no good, but may I speak with you?
You know, I think this is a pretty good place to wrap up the live gameplay portion. Let me see if there's any final questions here. Chromite, I'm coming in late to the stream, so I apologize if this has been brought up already. Is it possible to adjust the medium flower armor fairly so that medium agility armor classes can get their main stat on it rather than vitality, which is, quote, useless for them? Vitality is not useless for anybody, which is why that decision was made. So the answer is no, because it was deliberately designed to be a vitality item. But I understand. And then, let's see. Someone... Thanks, I'm doing an epic job on the raid, Dalibor says. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Alright, thank you very much for watching Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LOTRO and youtube.com/LordofTheRings/live. If you give us a follow on Twitch, you'll be notified for when we go live with shows just like this one. You can also find our full schedule on twitch.tv/LOTRO. We have got shows from the community just almost 24/7. It's getting busy, but we do still have some openings, particularly Eastern time, early mornings and mid-mornings. So if you think that might work for your schedule and you'd like to live stream, and you have some experience live streaming, please let me know. Get in touch with me and we'll figure something out. If you subscribe to us on YouTube, you can subscribe to individual shows, or you can just get all the videos in your YouTube subscription feed. Thank you very much for watching. I will be, like I said, doing a fundraiser this Saturday, noon to midnight. That's over for the other game, so if you're not interested, I perfectly understand. But if you do want to ask me a question, that's where I'm going to be, right here, noon to midnight this Saturday, and that's over on twitch.tv/DDO stream as well. Thank you very much, everyone. See you again soon.